Hi, we're Team Pivana, and we're going to be presenting our database for Casa Reforma.
So first off, we have the tables. In here, what we did is that we passed the tables that were in the original model over to Access, defining the corresponding primary keys and also adding the established definitions. We also had an additional table in the previous relational model, which ended up being deleted due to the fact that we actually were able to get that overdue days from a query that we made. So I'm just going to go back here for a minute and show the finished relational model. And this ended up as the following tables. In here, we can see the table of payments and in both the design and the normal view. You can see how we define the primary key, we define each data type, and also add a description for each table. We have here the renters table, which holds the information regarding their name, their telephone, email, and if they are an active renter or not, also in the design and in the normal view. And likewise, we also have the table that corresponds to spaces. So here we can find the space code, the section that corresponds to, the description, which is a small word or words that describe said space, the spaces if it is occupied or not, and we also made the relations, which in this case was the renter ID, and it was a way to relate it back to the renters table. Okay, so up next we have the queries. In here we created the queries that by adding the fields for each table and also adding the corresponding criteria or conditions for them to actually show up on the query that we were making. So for example, we have the first one, which was days overdue. In this one, we wanted to find how many days the renter had not paid and give that information in the form of a query. So we added the following fields, which were the renter ID, the renter number, the payment end date, which is the last date that the period corresponds, that the renter actually had to occupy the space and that was really paid. And then we used a function. So here we added a new field, which was days over, corresponding to days overdue. And we used a function date difference. So what that did was that it subtracted the current date and the end date to find how many days overdue for each payment. And we added the following conditions, which was they had to be larger than 0, because if it was 0 or if it was negative, it would mean that he still had time to continue occupying the space, and it had to be less than 30, due to the fact that if there were multiple payments by the same renter, and there could be a positive value that was larger than 30, but that will actually correspond to a previous payment and not the last one that the renter did.
So now for forms, what we did was we created forms for introducing new information to the tables. We did 3 different forms. We did the payment, we did the reports, and we did for the spaces. So for example, we added some images in the background and some different colors so it will look more visually attractive to the people that are looking to this database. And yeah, that's all.
Okay, so now the reports. Okay, so we basically created the report so that information is presented in the clearest way possible. Here we can see that we have the renter's ID, the renter's name, the pay end date, and the days over. And as I said, the reports are so that we can have the clearest vision of the kind of a table, but it's not a table. Here, in the next slide, we will see how it turns out. And here we can see how it turns out, and we have everything accommodated in a better way. Okay, here we have another report of occupied spaces, and here we have the code, the section, the description, the renter's ID, and the renter's name. And again, in the next slide, we will see how it turns out. And here we have how it turns out. Okay, so, well, basically what we did in here is that we added the queries, the forms, and the reports. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.